What's up? What's up? What's
No.
up?
Oh, girl. Like I look crazy. Hey, y'all. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What's good? It is your girl Deja. How y'all doing?
Here we are. We are here. We're doing a Get Ready with Us while we get ready to record. And so we're going to talk a little bit of pop culture. We're going to do, well, I'm going to do very basic makeup. Deja's probably going to do a little more than me. And we're going to talk pop culture and reality TV. So jump down in the comments, engage with us. We love the conversation. And yeah, are you drinking? Are you having a cocktail?
I am having like an agua fresca. So I have some Spindrift pineapple with a little bit of citron. It's like an apple brandy situation, something like that. I don't know.
Love that. Sounds delicious. I'm having a concoction. I had some tea that I purchased the last time I was in Atlanta from this Black-owned company called Transcending Tea. So I have a cinnamon whiskey tea, and then I added in some Crown Vanilla and some brown sugar creamer from the good old Trader Joe's from Yusef's and Co., as I like to call them.
What? What is that, girl?
I call Trader Joe's any version of Joe or Joseph. Like, you should hear my cousin's group chat. We be calling them all kinds of stuff. But we all know what we're talking about. So any version of Joseph, I will say, is Trader Joe's. So Yusef and Co. today.
What's that? Well, the first thing I'm putting on is some brows. I've already done my base, so you can see I already have a face on. I don't know why it's like this glare right here. This is so weird. I'm gonna have to fix it in a minute because it looks like I'm in blinds. I don't know. Anyway, so
where would you like to begin today?
Well, for starters, how was your week, child?
It was cool. It was a week, child.
Listen, you already know the week we was in the trenches this week, so I appreciate you for being present and available in the trenches with me.
Yeah, man.
But yes, on to the mess. One of the things that I saw as I was perusing the interwebs, hopefully we'll have our little assistant in here and she can give you the actual details. But allegedly, well, maybe not so alleged because I saw photos. Jonathan Majors and Meagan Goode is out here dating in the midst of his scandal.
It's giving Martell and Sheree.
Girl, we can talk about that on this.
Oh, we're gonna get there. Hey, we will arrive at that point.
I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. And so I did see like some snippet like interviews where she was just kind of like, you know, you guys don't really know me or know the situation or whatever the case may be, which is true. But like, girl, like you went from holy to like abuser, alleged. Like,
it's not a great look.
It's not. And my thing is like, you're like the golden girl. Like you know, there's nothing tarnishable about you as far as like the mainstream community is concerned. Maybe the church don't like you, but like she's not problematic. So like, what's going on here?
It's very much giving we were all rooting for you, and
I don't know why I made these so dark today.
And I don't know why she chose this route for her life. I'm not saying like we still don't know the whole story with Jonathan Majors, which I think is worth noting. But as of right now, he's kind of persona non grata. So I don't understand.
Like, why would you put yourself with him in the middle of his fire? Not saying not to see him at all. It's just it just don't seem like good timing.
It's poor timing. It's very poor timing.
So, but yeah. Ooh, let me open up these blinds and see if I can fix this lighting situation because it's not looking good, honey.
Yeah.
It is looking crazy at the moment.
So, yeah. So that is just an odd. I don't understand why that's happening. I don't understand why it's happening right now.
Girl, I don't think they know.
Clearly not. Clearly not.
It just kind of is what it is. What is happening with this light? Child, what is going on? Okay, anyway. So there's that. Let me go ahead and pull up a little.
Yeah, I have it up. So Kim and Kroy announced their divorce.
Child, I feel like Kim is running from the
tech
money
man.
issues. Yes. Like Kim said, I don't want no parts of that. Okay, I done been broke. I ain't going down this road again. She thought that she, got with a baller and that she was gonna be winning, and that's not what it's turning out to be at this point. But I feel bad for her and all them kids.
And I don't even know Kroy was never like top of the heap in the NFL. Let's keep it a stack. So I don't know if she thought she was getting with a baller, but I don't know that she thought that the Bravo checks were going to be running out or at any point. Because for a while she was like a golden child, like they would just keep giving her shows and shows and shows. So once that money dried out, it seems like it didn't go well.
Yeah. For lack of better ways to describe it, she was shit out of luck.
Like they couldn't figure out what else to do with themselves.
No. And like, not for nothing. Her show, I mean, to have several seasons of it, there was no way that was really going to work out. It was interesting for, like a little one-off here and there, but she should have stayed her ass on Housewives.
Well, no, they were on for a while. They were on. Don't Be Tardy was on for a solid like 7 to 10 years. It was on for a long time.
Was it?
It was, because I was like, at a certain point, I was kind of like, it's still on.
Girl, I did not know that. I literally thought they had 2 seasons, child.
No, they had way more than that, because the kids grew up on the camera, like the little ones especially. Let me see how long it was on.
That's new.
Maybe I over exaggerate a little. No, 8. It was on for 8 seasons.
Damn, that's crazy. Oh, I'm putting on what is this? Pat McGrath. Is this Dark Star? Yeah, Dark Star mascara.
Yeah. So it was on for 8 seasons, and it finished. Well, it kicked off with a wedding special with her and Kroy, and then it was on for 8 seasons between the wedding special and this. So I think, I don't know that she realized that train was going to come to an end at some point. And so the girlies have been like, girl, you better go get you a ultimate girls trip check.
I'm saying she should be the first one running after that check.
Yeah.
Her and Nene need to be going ahead and be on an ultimate girls trip. That would be funny.
I don't know that Nene is up for that.
I think Nene should do it, period. But like, definitely, if they could get Kim and Nene on, and you know what? If y'all take this idea, then y'all should cut us a check. Thanks.
I don't think we're the first. I don't think it's an original thought. I think the girlies have been kind of saying it. I wish I had brought my sponge. Okay, I didn't.
Listen, we pulling it together, okay? This is one of them Sundays where the girls is just rolling out of the bed trying to make it happen. The energy is a little stagnant. Oh, what you putting on? What's that? It's pretty. You're giving us a little glow on the cheeks there.
It's the Danessa Merrick's.
I love me some Danessa, honey.
I know, you told me that. So I'm trying here to do something. I don't know. I'm gonna need a real mirror after this is all said and done. I have one here, but I'm gonna need something.
It looks good. What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really tell because the lighting is poor in here. Anyways, so that's happening. Kim and Kroy. But yeah, I'm with you. I think they're just trying to minimize, maybe, or trying to hide from whatever's getting ready to come down with the money situation. But the thing that irritates me about some of these reality TV stars is like, girl, you had to know the money was going to run out eventually. Like, so you knew your time was going to come up eventually. So like, what was the plan? Were y'all investing? Were you doing whatever? What was happening on the sideline while you were making all this money so that you could keep all this money? Because it seemed like to me they were spending it as quickly as they were making it, in my opinion.
Hello? Now, man, you look at you did it. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I got a new puppy, so I think I put him on our shorts, but he be trying to jump on the couch with this lamb chop that I bought, and the lamb chop is as big as he is.
I did a little something here. That was the Heavy Pedal by Pat McGrath.
Okay.
The little lip gloss.
All right. So the mascara on.
Guerdy. Oh my God, Guerdy got diagnosed with breast cancer. Guerdy from Real Housewives of Miami.
Did they catch it like early, or we don't
Yeah,
really
it
know?
seems like they caught it really early. It seems like she was saying she went for her like regular mammogram. She didn't feel any lumps. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was very much like, oh, I'm just going for my mammogram, and they found something.
Well, prayerfully, she won't have to go through the process that Kimmy is going through, or has gone through over on Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yeah, that's the prayer. So prayers up for Guerdy. That's my girl, even though she's crazy and she don't be making sense half the time. I love me a little kooky housewife, and she delivers every time. So shout out to Guerdy. Who else we got? So Candy and Sheree are having a beef. You wrote that on here?
Girl, they are wearing me out because like it used to be the talls and the smalls. So it's giving like y'all were never really cool. Like I don't understand why there's so much beef.
You know, this whole season of Housewives of Atlanta, I know it just started, but I'm already very tired of it. I think we're gonna maybe do a dedicated episode for Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah,
okay, so we'll hold all of those thoughts until then. But yeah, we'll hold those thoughts. But in the meantime, I will say this: Candy and Ace's KFC commercial is so stinking cute. Have you seen it?
I did. I think they aired it immediately after the first episode of this season.
Yeah.
So I just put on MAC Cosmetics Billion Powder Kiss lipstick. And then MAC Cosmetics Night Moss, not Night Moss. What is this called? Nightingale lip liner.
I like went over a little bit here, but yeah, it's just so stinking cute. I love it. That's all I had to say about that.
Yeah. Perfect timing, and like what I love about Candy is that she's always in alignment. Like, yeah, you had 100%. All this conversation and chatter around how you became friends with Marlo again over that KFC. So like, who better than to go and have a KFC commercial? Like,
running checks.
Speaking of Candy, I'm pissed off that Candy and the gang did not get another season because
it should have. It was good.
Like we have however many thousands of seasons of goddamn Vanderpump Rules, but we don't get no black version of it down in Atlanta. Like, what's tea?
I'm over it. And I don't watch Vanderpump Rules, so I don't have an opinion about that.
I don't watch it either, but like it's so much drama with them right now. Like, yeah. I want to say, it's not the Bravo docket, the other one that we follow on our Instagram. They were posting about all this foolishness that happened between some of the OG cast members and like this one chick who like literally was like, I don't know any of these people's names. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but allegedly she came in as a nobody, dating one person, and they didn't like her for several years. And then all of a sudden she became best friends with all the girls, which was the storyline for Vanderpump Rules. And then it turns out the whole time, one of the girls she was best friends with, she was fucking her man.
Her man, yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about that story because, like I said, I don't watch them people. But, yeah, I wish that Candy and the gang did get another season. We do see Philip and Melvin popping up on Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I liked that. But yeah, they were a good time for a short time, and I wish they had gotten another season for sure.
Maybe they'll get maybe she'll work it out and they'll get another another network.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Or do like streaming
where she cuts her checks, but
I mean so I know Bravo doesn't necessarily have like a streaming channel platform situation, but like
maybe like a Peacock.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Peacock, boom, perfect. Like I would do that. I would rather see that than to this not give them anything at all because it was funny. Like it was the early seasons of it, and so people wasn't really living the lavishness of it all, but neither was them hoes over on Vanderpump Rules. Like
and I think that's part of it. Like I think that's part of the point is that they're younger, they're not living these lavish lifestyles, even though the old hoes ain't living them either. But
okay.
But they're not living these lavish lifestyles. They're supposed to be kind of like fun and relatable or whatever the case may be. So anyways, yeah, maybe hopefully they'll find a home on Peacock or somewhere because I thought it was worthy at least of a second season for sure.
I'm saying they was just really getting started. We was just getting introduced to people. Like, yeah, it's just offensive every time because it always seems like every time Candy has some sort of a spinoff show, they only give them like, X amount of episodes and then it's nothing.
Well, I think it's I thought that out of all of the things that she's had as spinoffs,
this was the
one that made the most sense to continue. But
Yeah.
I think that they're giving her all of these little shows or whatever to kind of lead into Housewives, or like as there's a downtime that they need to fill, then they'll give her like a spinoff or give somebody else a spinoff to like fill the time. That's what it feels like to me. So where they had Escape and SWV was on, that would have been the spot for Kandi and the gang, because it usually leads into Housewives of Atlanta starting.
I'm trying to remember what. You might be right.
Just like with Karen's show, it was never designed to be like an ongoing thing. It was like a lead into Potomac. Like, we have some dead air for like 8 weeks before we're gonna be ready for a new season. So like, let's do a little spinoff. Like, that's how it feels to me. So
Yeah,
but I do think for all of the yachts and all of the things, the what do you call it, summer house, and all, we coming back to that hoe. For the summer house, for the all of the things that they have going on with like a younger cast, I thought that Kandi and the gang was like a really good addition to that universe of programs.
I'm saying, especially if you're trying to trend with a younger crowd, like the Summer House definitely fulfills that. But who's to say that they're going to give them another season? But I'm not going to say I could see them totally giving them another season.
Have you been watching it? We're talking summer. We're moving to Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Have you been watching?
Lord, these children is wearing me out. I don't know. It's just a lot. The girl with the dog, I'm just like, sis, you really doing a lot. You came here with this animal, and while I am a dog person, right? You need
I'm
to tell
not.
people.
And let me tell you something. If she had brought a dog into my function, I would have been like, you and the dog can go, honestly, because I did not invite a dog here, and I don't want to be stepping on dog stuff. I don't want to be having dog. We have to house train the dog so it doesn't pee. I don't want to see dog hair. I came here to have a good time outside of my life, and I do not want a dog clouding all of the things. So like, even with the argument with the towels, I thought that was valid, because like, don't wash your dog stuff with my people stuff. We gotta wash off with those towels. I know it's all getting clean, but like, as a non-dog person and non-animal person, I'm just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't disagree with you in the sense that I'm not saying you can't bring the dog, but you got to tell people so that they can be prepared. Like, oh, this is my dog. It's an emotional support animal, so on and so forth, and be done with it. Like, and you don't have to just popping up with the dog like it's a whole nother person. Like, that's not. Some people might be afraid of dogs. Like, that's crazy.
I don't like dogs. I don't like animals. Period. Like that. Which, ironically, I'm not like an animal person, but I also don't think that animals should be like locked up and stuff, and like in a zoo and stuff. So I'm kind of like, I care about that kind of stuff, but also like, I don't want to be around your dog.
Child.
No. But Summer House, they just picked the least likable cast of all times. I feel there's like one guy on the cast where I'm like, all right, he's fine, and maybe like half of one of the women. The latest woman who came into the house, like the latest girl who came into the house, she just was like, look, I'm here for the weekends. I can't come here and be here all week. So look, I'm gonna have a good time while I'm here, and that's that on that. And I like her. But for the most part, I'm just like, all of y'all are unlikable. Very unlikable. I don't know how we got here.
I think I'm not really invested. I've watched a couple episodes here, and the 2 episodes that have been on, 2 or 3. I don't know. I don't even remember. See, that's how you know I'm not really watching the show.
Yeah.
I think that I want to give it like support everything Black. So I want to give them.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it.
But it's just weird. The only thing that the last episode that I watched was the most recent one, where the other guy came in because he had missed his flight, and he was trying to kick out the preppy looking dude because
who irritates the shit out of me. Nick irritates me so bad.
Yes, I mean, but he's the typical male Leo. No, all shade. I'm about to say no shade, but all shade.
It's like, annoying.
It's just Like, bro, this was too much. But I understood him being irritated about going into the bathroom and somebody had left shit in the toilet.
Oh, 100%. No, he had every right to feel how he felt about that situation, but everything else about him annoys the hell out of me. It's just like he's just annoying. And he's one of those people who feels like they're like high and mighty because like, oh, my body's a temple. I wouldn't dare have a drink.
He's just very pretentious.
Yeah, very pretentious. Like, oh my, I don't drink. I don't have to be like that or do those things. And it's just like, please go have a drink. Please go take a shot. So take the edge off. Take all of this pretentious energy off so that we can actually have a good time together. I don't like him at all.
I do like the real estate guy from Austin. He's cute. He's the shorter guy.
Yeah, I like him too. I like him too.
Cute. His story was interesting, and like him being in this environment where he's never really been around a lot of Black people.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me to see him kind of navigate this, even though he is Black and he identifies as being Black.
Yeah,
when just telling his story about like how he grew up and stuff like that. I thought that was dope, but I do like the lawyer, the one gay guy on the cast.
I like him. I'm 50-50 on him because I like him. But also, I don't want to hear you preaching all up.
I know he gives Eboni K. Williams a little bit.
You know, I'm not. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear all of this preaching all summer long. I'm here for a good time. Like the homegirl who just came in at the end. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like let's have a good time. You know, even with his whole Black excellence spiel, which I understood what he was saying wholeheartedly, and like these type of people are the ones that just love to talk about Black excellence, and I'm like, y'all are just awful. But so I got what he was saying, but I was just like, girl, just take the shot, just take the cheers and do the shot, and that's it. Like enough.
I mean, I don't know. It's giving very much like, oh, we found some really attractive high-ranking social people, and we threw them into this house because the connections aren't really genuine, and I would rather them introduce this like a real world situation where people are coming in and meeting one another.
I think they should start doing those types of situations again and just introduce the people as strangers, because we started reality TV where it was 6 strangers in a house. And listen, the girlies were tuned in. I was talking to my cousins about this the other day. I started watching Real World at LA in 1993. Okay. And I did not stop watching the Real World until I went to college in 2002. So, and I probably would have kept watching, but for the fact that it had gotten a little bit staged, but also we didn't have cable in our dorm rooms. So I didn't watch it anymore, and that was sort of the end.
And you know, these children these days have cable. They have basic cable in the dorm rooms, girl. We didn't have nothing. Hell, I didn't even have air conditioning.
I did not. So you know, and then I did pick it back up a couple seasons later just to watch Karamo. But aside from that,
girl, so let's have an aside for Karamo, right quick.
Yeah.
I know that people grow and change. I am so aware of this shit, but I'm having a hard time because the Karamo that I know him from is night and day than the Karamo we get today.
Yeah, of course. And I mean,
it's just like
he was very young in his journey when we first met him on the Real World. Let's just put it that way.
But even after the Real World, like some years after that, it was still very much that personality type. So like now he's giving, how do I say this without sounding terrible? Maybe I should just not.
Just probably don't. Probably don't. The girls who know. I know what you're saying, but I don't have the words for it either. So let's just maybe not.
If you know, you know. Like it's
you know. Yeah. But I feel like this summer house format is like the perfect type of format to be like 8 strangers. Pick the living. You be like, girl, in.
Like, duh.
Sign me up. But yeah, like trying to all of these little tenuous bonds of like this and that. I'm just like, okay, girl, sure. I don't like the couple. The couple gets on my nerves really bad.
I feel like they just tried to carbon copy the original Summer House because you had the couple, and then you
Which I
had
didn't
even
watch.
though the first season I vaguely watched it, but the first season there was like everybody was kind of like partnered up, and then you had a couple of single people that were there.
Okay.
So you had like one of the girls, the Spanish girl, who now, which I find so interesting, is that she's identifying as being, you know, like Afro-Latina. Now that there's Black people in the summer, it's child. Listen, I don't really watch the show, but like I have been kind of catching it here lately, and like there was like this whole conversation because it was two, like the last couple of seasons has been Black people on the show, but this here season, this girl comes in and she's like talking about her experience growing up with white people, and like what her experience was, and then she starts the Latinx girl starts introducing herself.
Okay.
As, like, whatever. It's crazy.
So I have context, and now I actually do want to watch this because the Black girl who came in, I just finished reading her sister's book, and I was like, I don't recommend it. First of all, it's on my do not recommend list. But I read her sister's book, and I'm like, I wonder how her other sister, like, I wonder how the sister feels, and she's on Summer House this season.
Oh shit.
So, let me take that back. No, I don't think I recommend the book. It was fine. It was just, it felt like she was too early in her healing journey to be writing a book about it. Let's put it that way. There was no end point in sight. It was kind of like, okay. And you can tell, like, even looking at her Instagram page, is like, you're very much still in the healing journey.
Right.
And you didn't have enough zoom out to be able to write this book yet, and it felt very that way. But I did finish it because I was curious. But yeah, I'm curious because I'm like, I wonder what her sister's experience was and if hers mimicked the same one.
I mean, I would watch it on Peacock. I'm sure that it's up there, and just watch, like, I don't even know what the names of the episodes are, because I want to say it had to be like early on when they're having like to sit down, and the girl is like, you know, identifying with the other girl, the Black girl that just came in and talking about her experiences. But it was so interesting because like the first few seasons, it was like she was trying to shy away from the fact that she was Afro-Latina, and and maybe I might be getting this wrong. I don't know that she ever said that, but she looks it. I don't know if she identifies that way.
Gotcha.
So, like, I don't know.
It could have been that she didn't have I don't know. I don't watch, but it could be that she maybe never had the space to really like talk about it freely and to have like
well, no, they did ask her what her nationality was or whatever it was, like in them first season, because she's beautiful. So they were trying to figure out, like, oh, you know how people do.
I guess I meant like the she didn't have maybe the, you know how it is, like when you're talking with your own people versus when you're talking with white people. So it could be like she didn't feel like doing the educational piece, but now that there's another Black woman in the house, like she has an ally, and like she has a person who, not an ally, but she has a person to have the conversation with.
I don't know. It's just weird to me.
I don't know. I don't watch.
The last 2 seasons of Summer House, there have been hell, maybe 3. There have been like 3 other Black women that have been in the house, and then all of a sudden this other girl pops up, and now you're like, you know, you want to tell your story. I don't know. It's
because
weird.
Austin dated one of the Black girls, right?
That's the thing. That's the Latinx girl.
No. Oh, she's black. I wouldn't even have known, and no, I wouldn't have known. I would have just assumed she's Black because I've seen her via Austin on Southern Charm, but I'm not. No, come on. All right, I was trying to.
No, my bad. No, you're talking about she is Black. I thought you were talking about the other person. My bad. When you said Austin, I had to think about. I'm like, no. Austin is from Southern Charm. Yeah, no, wrong person. My bad. No, he's definitely Black.
Well, maybe I'll go binge it. Sometimes I like look for things to binge when I'm like working on other stuff and just need some background noise. So, anyways, the Southern Charm.
Watch the first season so that way you know what I'm talking about, and then go to this season.
Okay. Yeah, so the Summer House cast that they picked, I'm not sure that I enjoy. I don't think that I like them very much. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So speaking of cast and contrived storylines and foolishness, I know you probably have not watched it yet, but you know I have plenty of time these days. So I watched Our Cousins Across the Pond. Young, Rich, and African. Oh, we butcher this name every time.
Oh, it's back already?
Yeah. So I've already finished it. I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I'm just gonna say
we're recording next week, so I'll be back. I'll be ready. It's isn't it Young, Famous, and African?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Oh, we always get the name wrong.
No, it's like Young. No, I think it's Young, Rich, and African or something. That's
what I said. I don't know if it's famous or if it's rich. Either way.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
They just wore me out this season. And
they could have just said Rich, Famous, and African, because none of these people are youthful.
I mean, we got one new person this season.
Is she young?
Or no, we got two new people this season
are they young?
Are young. Yeah, one is 25, the other is 30. So
okay, there we go.
They finally fit the bracket, but child, these listen, the cousins was cutting up. I'm gonna say that, and it was just giving like very contrived. I think what the issue is that I might be growing out of the versions of reality TV that we're getting these days.
You know what? I think you're right, because I've been feeling the same way. Like when I'm watching it, I'm just like, I don't even know that I'm enjoying this as much as I used to. It's very, and like, and it could be also that we've been watching it for so long that we kind of know how the sausage is made at this point. We can spot the conflict. Like I've been saying for seasons, like I'll be like, oh, that's the season conflict. That's the thing they're going to argue about all season. And I know we're coming back to this, but this Martell, I'm like, good God, y'all are shaping
here
this
right
up.
Now.
We're shaping. Well, let's not, because we're going to talk about it in a separate episode. But like, this is shaping up to be a season conflict, and God knows I don't want it. I don't think anybody does.
So not Atlanta, but just talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Yeah, we can do that then.
Child, so I watched
last. Or do you want to combine that with our Atlanta thing episode?
No, it'll be separate, because this is solely about like Martell on the Huntsville cast.
Yeah, okay.
Well, not just about him, but the child. Listen, that Tiffany gotta go. She is vile. And like, I don't know if she, like, what happened if they done blew smoke up her patootie so that she could really be stirring the pot this season, but she's really doing a lot. She sat down and had a conversation with Sheree and proceeded to ask her all these questions as though this was even your place. Like, you friends with this man. Like, yeah, you're friends with her, but you have a relationship. You and your husband have a relationship with Martell. That's how y'all were introduced to the show. Yeah. Well, she was introduced through Mel, but nonetheless, like, the two of you have sat down with him on several occasions. So it's like, girl, is this your friend? Like, what are you doing?
I'm kind of like of two minds about Tiffany. I think that she saw what we saw after Carlos King was reading them, her and Destiny, and because he did dedicated episodes about the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast on his YouTube channel, and was kind of like, we hired Tiffany because we thought that she was coming to the table to stir the pot. We thought she was bringing something to the table, and then she came and brought nothing. And I think Tiffany heard that as a warning shot, and she was like, oh, I'm about to get everything started this season.
Hello, because Destiny got fired. How about Destiny was in the background of the damn party, and they sure enough paying that camera right by her quick as shit. Didn't give her no cameras.
I didn't know.
And I'm like, don't misunderstand. We like Destiny over here, even though she was a
little like Destiny.
We do like Destiny, but
you like Destiny.
They didn't have. Ooh.
Hello.
I mean, just listen. Destiny.
I guess I don't dislike Destiny. She just annoys me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, she was a little annoying here and there, you know. Yeah, she's definitely a dog with a bone, and she's gonna hold on to that mug.
Yeah.
But like, I just was so offended for her. Like, she was walking up to speak to Martell, and I think she did, but the way that the camera rolled by her so fast,
like, do not want.
Damn, they literally fired her. And like,
no
fact that the conversation that she had with him on YouTube, with Carlos on YouTube, and also on the stage, where they were basically saying that she was so difficult and all this kind of stuff. I think that's why she got fired more than anything.
I think so too. I think she would have gotten another season to try to show her worth, except that she was difficult with production. And even Kimmy said she was difficult. And like, I feel like Kimmy is there to play, and she is
Kimmy said, I'm gonna get this check.
Yeah, she's like very much like, I'm gonna get this check and I'm not worried about it, you know?
Excuse me.
And she's just very much, she's here to play. And Kimmy don't seem like she really with it one way or the other. Like she's just kind of in it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she is not like trying to start drama and stuff like that. She'll like participate, but she doesn't necessarily want to start drama. So Kimmy seems like the least problematic person. And if Kimmy is saying that you're difficult to work with, it's kind of like it doesn't bode well. But the
I
other
wonder
thing
if
about
she will get to come back, like, you know how on Atlanta a couple of seasons Sheree was kicked off and then she came back as a friend, like that type of energy. I wonder if that will be what happens.
Maybe. The other thing I was gonna say about Tiffany sitting down with Sheree, I was like, sweetheart,
You finna be ate up.
What you're doing with Sheree originated. Like Sheree is the OG bone collector. So you cannot play bone collector with the OG bone collector. Like, come on.
And Kane, because one thing about it, you piss her off, she gonna eat you up and don't care nothing about it.
And you know what it was? Like the energy that Sheree was giving me, it was very much like, I'm here because I'm allegedly dating this man, but I can't even be bothered to deal with this and with you. It was very much like, this is beneath me.
When she started laughing, I was just like, she finna get up and just walk away. And that's what I wanted her to do.
Yeah, I was like, yes. And even when she walked in the event, she kind of looked around and was kind of like,
and my thing is like, why wouldn't she just come with somebody else? Just like bring her assistant or like someone she had to talk to.
It
because
was very
you don't know any of these people and you don't really have no relationships with them. So it would have been less awkward. So that if you're gonna be on camera, so that way you could just be, you know, politicking with your good sis or whatever, as opposed to being accosted by idiots like Tiffany.
Right. It was very much like this is not, y'all are not Real Housewives of Atlanta, so this is not giving.
I don't know. It just looks like, even when she came up to him and was like, "Hi, baby," like it just didn't even give genuine. It really gives like, we're just here to do this thing, you know, for the sake of us like having a storyline.
Yeah.
Which my thing is like, when he was on Atlanta, it looked more like they was just cool, like they was friends. Maybe when they filmed Huntsville, it was before they really got to know each other.
Maybe
because like this was so fucking awkward. Versus on Atlanta when he came and they were like laughing and kikiing and whatever, like that just seemed like they're friendly now.
They're friendly, and then
better understanding of each other.
Even when she walked into his house, I was like, that's the first time that lady been in that house. While they were talking about Tiffany, you know, Tiffany's like, oh, you been around the kids? And she's like, I mean, yeah, I have. I was like, no, you haven't. That's the first time you ever been to that man's house. Like, you can tell the way she was looking around. It was kind of like, oh, okay, this is cute. Okay. I mean, it's a nice house. It's no Chateau Sheree, but it's a nice house.
It's so lame. But because he don't have that kind of money. Not no more. He did. The house that he lived in beforehand, that house was nice.
That was more comparable. But it was just like, she was just kind of like, oh, okay.
All right,
like she had never been there before. So I was just like, girl, this is all staged. Exactly what Kimmy said. It was staged. It's very staged and it gives very arrangement more so than actual relationship for sure.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is like, y'all need to stop telling people that, oh, we're together, blah, blah, blah. And just be like, we're dating, we're friends.
Yeah.
Like,
or like we're building, we're hanging out. You know, we're hanging out and see where it goes.
She said that on Atlanta, but not on this show. I don't really, because he never really says one way or the other what's going on. He keeps saying like, oh, we're just hanging out. I don't know. It's just weird. This situation is weird. I feel like they should have waited a little bit longer to really get to know one another and then fake this shit.
Yeah, I agree. And then the last thing, did you have anything else on pop culture or reality TV or anything?
No, the pop culture stuff we will probably have to save so that Liv can come in and get, because she had like a bunch of different things. So I don't know what she is today.
Well, let me just add one little pop culture thing. It's not really a pop culture thing, but it pissed me off based on a previous conversation that we had. So there's all of these like Supreme Court conflicts of interest that are coming up lately. There's all these articles about how this wealthy Republican donor has been subsidizing Clarence Thomas's grandnephews tuition payments, which also, like, for the man that's so against the black man that's so against affirmative action, you're fine to let this wealthy donor come in and pay your grandnephew's way, but cool. And just like all kinds of conflicts of interest. I think Robert's wife is a recruiter, like a legal recruiter for a law firm or something, and it's just like, maybe that's a conflict.
It's so much conflict, not even just with the justices. I saw something, I think either I was on Instagram or TikTok, one of the two, and it was one of the senators that was arrested because he fell asleep because he was high on cocaine behind the wheel.
They said crack. They said he had a crack.
Well, there you go.
And he had heroin in the car as well.
Because it was in his lap.
He nodded out is what happened. Like he was doing drugs, he was driving, and he probably parked his car to do his drugs, and he nodded off. He nodded out because he was high.
Like, and I know a couple of months ago, probably sometime last year, is when I first saw it. There's like this Instagrammer, I don't even know his, not Instagram, YouTube, Jesus, TikToker, all these social media platforms. And they're running down a list of all of the atrocities that have been committed by the Republican Party, and like their like child molestation cases, drug usage, like, and it's hundreds of people.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But I just wanted to like put that there and talk about how these conflicts of interest are at the Supreme Court level, and people at their law firms, as we've talked about before with Any Given Sunday and like the other girl, I think her name is Legally Priscilla or something like that on TikTok. The girlies are getting fired or getting pulled up because they're potentially conflicts of interest at their law firm, but y'all not even at the Supreme, they're getting stricter conflict of interest laws than they have at the damn Supreme Court. So like, that's an issue. That's a problem. I wanted to say that. And then let me say a few words about Dianne Feinstein's ass.
I do have something else. I just saw it on the list.
Have to like, as a people, and this is not, I mean, it is party specific, but not necessarily. Like, you have to get to a point where you're comfortable with stepping down and handing the torch over. And I will give it to like, okay, so Sherilyn Ifill was the director of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and she stepped down like well before she had to. She's not in poor health or anything, but she was just like, we just need new people here, and I want to be here as a resource for these new people to be able to impart knowledge on them and to train them properly. And like, I feel like, especially in our Senate and in our government, everybody is so old and wants to hold on to power to the absolute last minute. And like, at the end of the day, you should be trying to hand over the power to younger people so that you're there to be able to help them and help to transition them into these roles, and so that you can teach them. But you can't teach them, Dianne Feinstein, if you're 90 years old and recovering from shingles and you look like you've had a stroke and they have to wheel you into the chambers and you aren't there. Like, we know you're not there. Like, everybody can look at you and be like, oh my gosh, she looks awful. Like, and not in a bad way, but she just looks like what it looks like when a 90-year-old woman gets sick. Like, you don't recover like you used to. You should have been stepped down, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as well. Like, you should have been stepped down so that people can, you know what I'm saying? Like, to empower the next generation and be a resource for the next generation. And like, it pisses me off that all these old people are up there just taking up space. And it's like, get the fuck out of the way. You're not going to be governing the way that the younger people and the people who are the base of the constituency at this point. You're not governing in the way that we want or most Americans want. You're bound and held to this old fashioned belief, and it's enough.
Yeah,
that's my soapbox.
Totally agree. I think so. The last thing that I forgot that I put on there is like all the foolishness that's going on in Florida. Girl, with that damn DeSantis. And I'm like, and the girls are like, oh, because I've had a couple of people that have sent me things through Instagram, and they're like, because I have another friend of mine who lives, I want to say she's in like Daytona Beach or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was just like, one of the teachers there just got arrested and possibly like fined, I don't know if she got fired or whatever, for showing like a Disney movie because it has a gay character in it. And it's like, between that and the thing that really got me is you really finna fuck up the whole goddamn East Coast like agricultural shit. because a lot of stuff comes from Florida.
100%.
So now you have none of these people working. And the thing about it for me that's so frustrating is like you're saying that you want to, kick these people out of the country because they're not here, they're here illegally and so on and so forth, and give these jobs back to Americans. But baby, the problem is they got these damn jobs because the American people didn't want to do this work.
They don't.
So like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a shit show down here. I'm like, get me out of, like, I want to get the hell out of Florida. It's just a shit show, and like it's just bad. Like,
like,
with all of the different curriculums, they have basically stopped the teaching of any like AP. Basically, at this point, they're using what do they call it? Critical race theory and all of that stuff, which
is not taught at the grade school level.
And you have to elect into it at law school, at a law school level, which I don't even think is fair. If I have to sit through con law, they should have to sit through knowing how con law has a disparate impact. I think that should be mandatory. However, you have to elect for that. But now they're just using it as a Trojan horse to get rid of teaching any Black history.
I saw on TikTok, I want to say yesterday, that this young, I don't know if she's a reporter or not, but she was saying that now they are pushing AAPI history in school. So they took out Black history. You can't teach that, but then we can teach teach everybody's history.
Yeah, teach it all.
It's made up of everybody. Like I should have learned about, like Asian American, it was Asian and Pacific Islander courses that they're now replacing with Black history. And it's like,
but are y'all going to teach the Chinese Exclusion Act? Is that part of it or no?
Hello, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's so frustrating.
It's frustrating. But anyways, so that's sort of where I have been with the political side of life. We don't really talk politics a lot, but I had to raise that, especially after especially after we did that long video about, the conflicts of interest. I wanted to raise that the mess that's going on in the Supreme Court is wild.
Yeah. And I will say honorable mention for the conversation that's been going around for a couple of weeks. It's probably died down now with Eboni and Iyanla regarding the bus driver thing. I think it just comes down to like the talented 10th. And if you know what that is, I'm not going to try to break it all down. But I think that's what the issue is, like the respectability politics and like how you choose X, Y, and Z versus the other. And like,
I don't know. I don't think that either one of them is wrong. I think that everybody is looking for something different in their partnership. And as long as you're specific, that's my biggest thing is like, don't say that you don't want a certain type of don't say you don't want somebody with a certain profession, but like say what it is that you actually want, because we talked about it a little briefly. It's like, people be having college degrees and be dumb as shit. So it's like, maybe that's not it, but
that went to college.
Right. But also, like, you could also be with somebody who has a college degree and has a super demanding job that still doesn't allow them to live the lifestyle that you want, that still doesn't allow them to travel for months at a time. I think a good example, we haven't really talked about this show, but put a ring on it. Jaysha, it's over, I think. Joya and Jaysha, he was saying they're both entrepreneurs. I think she works in real estate and he does something else. And so they're able to travel together for 2 and 3 weeks at a time. Nobody who's clocking a 9 to 5 is going to be able to do that. Period. It doesn't matter how much the 9 to 5 is making. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They just you can't move like that when you have a 9 to 5, unless it's a remote job. But even still, you're going to be working in a remote capacity. It's not like you could just clock out and be like, girl, I'll be back in 2 months. Like, no, like that's not how it works. So I think
how you gonna get this check?
Exactly. So I think it's just important to like be specific about the lifestyle that you want. And I think that's what it was, that and the type of people that you want to be in relationship with, just meaning like, what are your expectations around a relationship? So like Iyanla's at a later point in her life. So yeah, she's fine. I'm sure she could build with a bus driver, like a retired bus driver. Both of them are retired. They got time on their hands. They've raised their families or whatever. And she would be fine to be with a bus driver. Eboni is not at that point in her life where she, you know what I mean? Like he would still, in Eboni's mind, this person would still be working, driving a bus. And she's like, girl, it's nothing I can do with that right now.
But I mean, so for me, it's just like when I say respectability politics, I just feel like people got the working class people got up in their like guff about it because they're like,
Right.
oh, you looking down on us. And so like that's really what the argument became. Like just let people live, do whatever it is that you want to do. If she want to date somebody that owns the bus company, then let her do that. And if Iyanla wants to settle down with a retired bus driver, then let her do that. I don't think that any of that shit matters, but I think the issue got like spun around when she doubled down on it. Eboni doubled down on her opinion and then spun it into like this thing of wanting more for Black people, which you can, two things can be true. You can want to do both things, but the conversation wasn't that from the start. And so like, that's why I was just like, Lord have mercy, but whatever. We ain't even got to dive all the way into this.
I just think everybody, like you said before, everybody should just do what they want, like what you like. If you want to date somebody who only wears purple t-shirts,
that's on you, girl.
Find the lid for your pot, and don't justify to anybody why you won't date somebody who wears black shirts.
Thing is, like, she could have just she just said, you know, this is how I feel as it relates to my personal life and dating, and I also want for our community to have X, Y, and Z. I'm not disrespecting the working class. That's not what I'm saying, but it just became like a whirlwind all of its own, and it didn't need to be.
I think it's ultimately it's like we're trying to shortcut so many things in these conversations, and we have a conversation coming up about labels down the road. I don't know when it's going up, but it'll be up. And so so we have that conversation coming up, and it's like everybody's trying to use shortcuts and shorthand, but like say what you mean and mean what you say. You know what I mean? So I think that would clarify a lot.
I think be mindful too, because like, you know, like, especially when you have a certain stature in life, when you say certain things and it's cut and dry, you know that shit finna go crazy. You got to know that, especially with like the climate of Black professionals and Black people we live in today. Like everything is, we gonna be a dog with a bone. So anyway, y'all drop down in the comments, let us know what your thoughts were on some of the topics that we talked about, and we will see you in our next Get Ready With Us brunch edition. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.
I'm about to hit leave studio now.